morning, everyone. So we have yet another query, and it says that so basically you are given a dictionary and you try to access value related to a specific key, and that key doesn't exist in the dictionary, and obviously it will show an error. So what you're supposed to do is, instead of having that error, you need to provide a specific message. Okay, so it won't look it should look tidy. Basically, I'll let you know what the query actually is. See, if you have, suppose you have this dictionary, again I'll take the one I've always taken. So 1 2 3 4, right? So 1 and 3 represent keys, and 2 represents value, 4 represents value. 1 and 3 represent keys. So if I have to access a value, let's say D1, it will be 2, right? And if I have to access, let's say a value like, suppose I don't know how many keys are there, what are the keys, and so I will write 4. So 4 is a value in the dictionary, but let's say I not feel like I was not aware of it, so I'll provide 4. So it's going to give you a message, error message. Why? Because key doesn't exist. The key that you are providing doesn't exist in the dictionary. So what are you going to do in these cases? Well, there are a lot of ways to solve this, to write a program for this, and I'll show you 3 ways you can use. Okay, so I don't think we need this. Okay, so I'll again create a dictionary. D equals 2, and elements of dictionary are 1 2 3 4, right? So I'm gonna ask the user to input some value, okay, and user is not aware of the keys in the dictionary. So A equals to input, enter a key, and because the keys are integers, we are going to change this value into int. Okay, so enter a key. Now let's say user enters something, and since I am actually running this code at the moment, right, so it's going to ask for the values. So let's say user enters 4, and we know 4 is not a key. So what do we want to happen next? So you can use if else statement here. So if A, because when user enters 4 will be stored in A. Okay, so we are going to check if A is present in D or not. So if A in D, meaning if it is already there in D, then we can print the value related to this. Right? Else, what do we want? We are going to print a very neat message that the key is not present. Okay, so it did not show an error even though key was not present in the dictionary. So we provided a specific message that key is not present. So this is one way of doing it. Another way, so you can use if else statement. Now another way of doing it is using get method. Okay, and this method is used with dictionaries, and its syntax is something like this. So you will provide the key, and here you can write a default message or just a message. Okay, so if the key is present in the dictionary, it's going to fetch the value. If key is not present in the dictionary, it's going to go to the second part of the method, second parameter of the method, and it's going to print that message. Okay, let's see how it goes. So again, I'm going to use this dictionary D, and this time I'm going to print. So this method works with dictionary, so D dot get. So I'm gonna fetch, now you see 2 is a value here, but I'm gonna fetch 2 as key, and then I'm also going to provide a default message in case this key is not present. So key is not there. Okay, let's run it, and it says key is not there. Okay, what if key is there? Let's see. So instead of 2, I'm going to take 1, and we know that 1 is present in dictionary. So if you run it, it's going to fetch the value, and it's going to skip this second part, second parameter. Okay, so this is another way of doing it. Now, third way, there is another way of doing this, and it's using we had another method, I think it is set default method. So earlier we had get method, now we have set default method, and the syntax is pretty much the same, but it works in a different way. So when you are using this method, set default, you are going to provide key as you did in get method, but in get method you had the key and the message, and in set default method you're going to have the key and you're going to provide the value here. Why the value? Because if the key does not exist, set default will create this key and it will assign this value to this key. Okay, let's see. So again, I'm going to copy paste this statement to show you how it actually works. So we already know 2 is not present as key in the dictionary. Okay, so we're going to change this as set default. When I press enter, it says key is not there. In a way, it is not printing the message. It has already created the key and then it fetched the value. Now let's look at the dictionary. D is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 2 because it wasn't present in dictionary earlier, but now we have 2 and its value is key is not there. Okay, so it will create a new key and it will assign this value to this key. Now it doesn't have to be a string always. We can have an integer also. So another key that does not exist there is so for example, let's say 3 is already existing, right? So I'm gonna write 3, 7. I'm sorry, I'm gonna use this one, right? This is you know this is get method. So 3 is already there, so it will skip the second part, right? So set default, 3 is already there, and I am going to get an integer here, and if you see, it's going to skip the part and it's going to fetch the key. So 3 and the value is 4, so it's going to print 4. What if the key doesn't exist, as it wasn't existing in this case? I'm just going to show you that you don't have to always provide a message here. So we don't have any key, we don't have 10 as key, and so let's say this is 90. So 90, if you see, it's going to create that key value pair in the dictionary. Okay, so these are 3 ways you can, if you have a dictionary, if user is entering a key, user enters a key value and user doesn't know if that key exists in the dictionary or not, instead of having that error message, you can use one of these 3 methods and you can make it more presentable, right? You can use if else, You can use get method, you can use set default based on your preference, of course. So this is it. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video lecture with another program or with another topic. Till then, take care.